Have you ever wondered why those chosen for greatness, those walking in the light of God, seem to struggle the most with the darkness of lust? What is it about being chosen, about being set apart, that draws the most intense temptations? It's almost as if the more you strive to walk with God, the more the weight of temptation presses against you. And maybe, just maybe, you've asked yourself, why is it that those closest to God, those on a divine path, still battle with their desires and lusts? Shouldn't it be easier to resist temptation when you are living for a greater purpose? Well, let me tell you this. You are not alone in this battle. It is not just you who struggles. In fact, many of the chosen ones, those walking in God's light, face the deepest battles, particularly with lust. It's a battle fought in silence, one that many do not understand. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into this struggle, why lust seems to follow the chosen one, and why it is often the most intense and persistent battle for those called to greatness. This isn't just about temptation. It's about something deeper, something connected to the divine calling that those chosen to lead others are given. Stay with me as we uncover the truths behind this hidden struggle. Before we dive into the reasons why those chosen by God often struggle with lust, let's first define lust in a biblical context. Lust is not simply a desire. It is a strong, selfish craving for something that goes against God's will. Lust distorts our desire for what is good and righteous into a pursuit of something that leads to sin. It is a force that seeks to pull us away from God's plan. Lust often appears as an escape, a quick fix to a deep void within us. Yet, while it may offer temporary relief, it leaves us emptier and more lost than before. Lust is not just about the physical act, it is about the mind, the heart, and the spirit. And for those chosen by God, this struggle is even more intense because the enemy knows that if he can control your desires, he can derail your calling. Reason number one, the pressure of their calling. Let's turn to the scriptures for a moment. In Matthew 22:14 says, "For many are called, but few are chosen." And in Matthew 7:14, Jesus speaks of the narrow gate leading to life, where few find it. There's something significant about being chosen. It's not just a title, it's a responsibility. When God chooses you, He sets you apart. And with that comes pressure, immense pressure. This pressure is not just from the outside world, but also from within. There's a burden to represent God's kingdom on earth, to lead others, to be an example of His grace. This pressure can be overwhelming. Take, for instance, King David, a man after God's own heart. Yet, despite his closeness with God, David fell into one of the most infamous traps of lust when he saw Bathsheba bathing. This was no ordinary sin. It wasn't just a momentary lapse in judgment. It was a deep internal battle of a man chosen by God, someone who carried the weight of leadership for Israel. The pressure was immense, and in his moment of weakness, lust consumed him. This pressure can lead the chosen ones to seek solace in temporary escapes, and for many, lust becomes an illusion of relief. The world places expectations on those who are set apart, and when those expectations feel suffocating, lust can appear as false comfort. But in reality, it does nothing to heal the wound. It only deepens it. Reason number 2. The battle between flesh and spirit. The Apostle Paul captures this battle so well in Romans 7:18, where he writes, "For I know that good itself does not dwell in me, that is, in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out." There is a constant internal war between the spirit and the flesh, and it's a war that those called to a higher purpose fight every day. Jesus himself warned his disciples in Matthew 26-41, saying, "The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." This speaks to the constant tension between our desire to follow God and the weakness of our human nature. Lust exploits that weakness. When you are exhausted from the battle, when you have fought so long and so hard, lust often whispers. It promises comfort, release, and relief, but these are lies. Lust is a trap. The enemy knows where to strike. He attacks in moments of vulnerability when the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. We can look at the story of Samson for a moment, a man chosen by God with incredible strength, yet his weakness was his lust for Delilah. Despite his divine calling, Samson's lust pulled him into a dangerous trap that ultimately led to his downfall. His story is a painful reminder that no one is exempt from the struggle between flesh and spirit. Reason number 3. The influence of the world's temptations. The world is a battlefield for our hearts, and as those chosen by God, we are called to live differently. In 1 John 2:15 it says, "Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them." The world tempts us with things that seem harmless, images on television, advertisements, and social media. But these are the very things that can stir up lust. The harder we try to stay pure, the more the world pulls at us. The culture around us celebrates lust, making it seem normal, even desirable. Everywhere we turn, there is something beckoning us to indulge, to give in. But for those called to greatness, this is a dangerous game. The world pulls at our desires, telling us that lust is just part of life and that it's okay to give in. The enemy knows how to use the world's temptations to weaken us. He knows that if he can keep us distracted, if he can get us to follow the cultural norms, he can prevent us from walking fully in our calling. Lust becomes a tool of distraction, pulling us further away from our divine purpose. Reason number 4. The desire for intimacy and connection. In Genesis 2:18, God says, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." This deep human need for connection is something we all experience. It's a desire placed within us by God Himself. We were made for intimacy, for connection, for love. But for those chosen by God, that desire can become a battle. The life of a leader, a chosen one, is often solitary. The calling demands sacrifices, and often those chosen feel isolated. This loneliness can lead them to seek fulfillment in the wrong places. Lust promises intimacy, but it is a counterfeit. It provides temporary satisfaction, but leaves the soul more empty than before. Even Jesus experienced a deep longing for connection. Despite his divinity, he spent time in solitude, and we see his heart broken in John 4-6 as he spoke to the Samaritan woman at the well, revealing his longing for true connection. Lust, however, distorts this longing. It's a hollow attempt to fill the deep desire for an authentic, loving relationship with God and others. Reason number 5, the attack on their purpose. Lust is not just a distraction, it is an attack on the purpose that God has called you to. Jesus said in John 10:10, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." The enemy knows that if he can disrupt your focus, if he can steal your attention away from God's plan for your life, he can steal your destiny. Lust works slowly, creeping in, distracting, and ultimately destroying the clarity of your purpose. It weakens your resolve, and once your focus is lost, your purpose becomes blurred. The more you give in, the more you lose sight of what you were called to do. The devil doesn't want just your body. He wants your heart, your soul, your purpose. The battle is real, but hope remains. Here's the good news. No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. When you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. 1 Corinthians 10:13. In moments of struggle, remember that you are not defined by your battles, but by your ability to rise above them. God has called you for something greater. Lust is just a distraction, a temporary pitfall. The strength to overcome it lies in your relationship with God. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. He knows your struggle. He understands the weight of your calling, and He promises that He will help you overcome. As you face the battle against lust, remember, you are chosen. Your purpose is greater than any temptation. Keep fighting, keep pressing forward, and know that God is with you every step of the way. Keep your faith alive. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next lesson here. Thank you.